to Rule 1, from where your lordships will see, which is headed Discovery by Interrogatories. And Rule 1.1, a party may apply for an order giving the party leave to serve on another party interrogatories relating to any matter in question between the applicant and that other party in the cause or matter, and B, requesting that other party to answer the interrogatories on affidavit within such period as may be specified in the order. Rule 1.2 then makes reference to Form 10 in the schedule, and Form 11 is the answer that will be provided. We have complied with the Form 10 in the schedule in indicating what we are asking for leave to serve by way of interrogatories. And your lordships will observe that starting from number 1 in the interrogatories, where, before I get into the specifics, there is another passage in the Judgment of Justice that I wanted to refer to, and I would respectfully ask your leave to do that before I go into the specifics.
Angel.
And this is a passage from page 59 to page 60 of the judgment. His Lordship says as follows: this leaves us with the application of the petitioners for interrogatories directed at the second respondent Electoral Commission. The application has been resisted on the ground that it has the effect of allowing the requesting party, the petitioners, to fish for information. If the said contention is correct, then the application must fail. We have carefully considered the application, and we are of the view that the request does not come within the designation of the word fishing as pronounced by Greer Lord Justice in the case of Rofe and Kevorkian, wherein he observed, and then he quotes that. And his Lordship, after quoting from that English authority, says, we have carefully examined the application relating to the request of the petitioners and are satisfied that they are within the scope of permissible interrogatory. So in that particular instance, the Lordships allowed the interrogatories to be served on the second petitioner. And that is what we are seeking for your Lordships to do in this case. In the specific interrogatories, we have questions regarding, in number 1, the practice in previous presidential elections involving collated figures from constituencies being received in the strong room in the presence of agents, and the further question whether that practice was followed, and the third question whether the 7th December presidential election was the first time regional collation centers have been interposed between constituency collation centers and the headquarters of the first respondent. My Lord, respectfully, these are matters which in the answer of the first respondent in paragraph 5 of the answer particularly, the first respondent sets out a procedure that the first respondent says is the procedure as detailed below. So, my Lord, these questions about the regional collation centers are directly related to what the first respondent sets out in paragraph 5. And equally, the question in question 4, how the results were transmitted from the constituency collation center to the regional collation center, that is clearly a question that arises from the process that is described, and that is clearly relevant. Yes.
Question 4. Should I understand it to mean the mode of transmission of the result? Is that what you are referring to?
That is correct. Okay. That is correct. And related to that, we also have in 6 a very specific question. Did the National Communication Authority facilitate in any way the transmission of results to the headquarters of first respondent? Again, that's a very specific question as regards whether the National Communication Authority facilitated in any way the transmission of results to the headquarters of first respondent. My Lord, respectfully, I mean, the issue of the mode of transmission is very important, especially for determining the authenticity of what was transmitted. And so it is very much at the heart of what is before your lordships in this petition. And whether the National Communication Authority facilitated is again capable of a very simple answer: yes or no. And in question 7, the interrogatory seeks to find out, when did Mrs. Jean Adukwe Mensah, is it Adukwe or Adukwe? Adukwe, yes. When did Mrs. Jean Adukwe Mensah, the chairperson of first respondent and the returning officer for the presidential election, first realized there were errors in figures she had announced in her declaration of 9 December 2020? When? This is a question only one person in the world can answer.
Mr. Chikata, why wouldn't you limit?
I'm sorry?
Why wouldn't you limit your references to the EC to the office, the chairperson, rather than the personality? It seems to me that your attack is against the personality of the person and not the office. So we'll be happy if you just limit it to the chairperson of the EC, because in her absence, any of the deputies, anybody at all could step in.
Respectfully, my lords, there is only one returning officer for the presidential elections.
And that is
that returning officer is not the EC. That returning officer is the chairperson of the Electoral Commission.
And that chairperson, that's all. We are not interested.
The chairperson has a name. I'm not able to mention the name of the chairperson. No, my Lord, respectfully, I want to understand. Am I being prohibited from mentioning the name of the chairperson? Is that the issue?
Reading through your petition
Yes.
as to the instant application, the constant emphasis on the name. What I'm telling you is that we'll be satisfied just with the designation, because in her absence, any of the deputies could act in that position.
My Lord.
So if it is an election petition and you are challenging the election of the president, it is sufficient that the institution charged with the responsibility of conducting that election had done their work, and the chairperson, who is the head, represents that institution and not the personality, the name.
My lords, with the greatest respect, I believe that the constitutional requirements regarding the returning officer and the particular circumstances that we are dealing with in this case do not make it possible to have the situation that you are envisaging, where somebody else steps in for the chairperson. Respectfully, the Constitution makes the chairperson and only that chairperson the returning officer. And in the circumstances of this case, that chairperson happened to be the person that we refer to in the petition. And that chairperson actually was the person who undertook her responsibilities in accordance with the various constitutional and legal provisions that we have. So, my lord, we do not mention her name by way of targeting an individual. That is very far from it. My lord, when I cited before you a decision of the Supreme Court, and I cited the decision of Justice Badegbe as an individual judge, he read a unanimous decision of the whole court. I did not target Mr. Justice Badegbe when I mentioned his name, because he happened to read that judgment, which was a unanimous decision of the court. And equally, I do not target Mrs. Jean Adukwe-Mensah when I say that she made the declaration on the 9th of December. It's not a targeting, it's just a fact that is material in this particular petition.
So thank you. You may continue with your submission.
And that is why in the next interrogatory 8, the question is again posed: how did Mrs. Jean Adukwe-Mensah, the chairperson of First Respondent and the returning officer for the presidential election, get to realize there were errors in figures she had announced in her declaration? And respectfully, my lords, as I said in respect of question 7, there is only one person who can testify to those matters. And question 9, in respect of the purported corrections, and we put corrections in quotations because, I mean, whether there were corrections or not is itself an issue. In respect of the purported correction made to the figures in the declaration by the First Respondent, was there any prior process of conferring with agents of the presidential candidates? And then 10, did Mrs. Jean Adukwe-Mensah, the chairperson of First Respondent, present Form 13, the Declaration of Presidential Result Form, to all the agents of the presidential candidates to sign? And if so, did all of the agents sign? 11 is on which date did Mrs. Jean Adukwe-Mensah?
Mr. Jikata, Adukwe in Ghana is a male. The female is Adukwe. She's not Adukwe.
I can only bow to the superior local knowledge of your lordship. So Adukwe, most grateful. My friends could not help me, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful to your lordship. Adukwe. And we seek to ask whether that is 10. Did Mrs. Jean Adukwe Mensah, the chairperson of first responder, present Form 13, the Declaration of Presidential Result Form, to all the agents of the presidential candidates to sign? And if so, did all of the agents sign? And 11, on which date did Mrs. Jean Adukwe Mensah, the chairperson of first respondent, post a copy of the Form 13 at the head office of the first respondent? And 12, did the first respondent record any discrepancies which were occasioned by computational and mathematical errors in the cause of the collation of the results? So each of these questions, which is capable of a relatively simple answer, we believe will narrow down the issues that are before this court. Your lordships will be aware that Regulation 44 of the Public Election Regulations sets out, particularly 4410, it sets out what the chairman of the commission, the CI 127 assumes that it will be a chairman, but the chairman of the commission it sets out exactly what is done in connection with the process. And the interrogatories that we are filing will, by clarifying these matters, will narrow down the scope of the inquiry before your lordships. We have this morning been served with an affidavit in opposition by the first respondent. And I would simply say to your lordships in this context that nothing in that affidavit in opposition provides a justification for us not being granted leave. My Lord, in paragraph 4, following paragraph 3, in which the first respondent, which the affidavit is sworn to by Mrs. Jean Adukwe Mensah. And in paragraph 4, she says, I object to answer to paragraphs 1 to 3 as irrelevant as the steps taken by the first respondent is in accordance with the Public Election Regulations CI 127. My lords, with the greatest respect, whether they are in accordance or not in accordance is an issue before this court. Whether what has been done by her is in accordance with the public election regulation is precisely an issue before this court. And that issue is not going to be determined by a paragraph in her affidavit. Indeed, my lords, the logic of the questions 1 to 3 should be obvious on the face of those questions. Questions 1 to 3 start from the practice before to whether, in 3, whether the first time regional collation centers have been interposed between constituency collation centers and the headquarters of first respondent is in the 7th December 2020 election. So, my lord, there can be no basis for saying that these questions are irrelevant to determine what actually happened, which is what this case is about. And in paragraph 5, she proceeds to object to answer 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, my lord, 4 is how were results transmitted from the constituency collation center to the regional collation centers. My lord, I mean, this question can hardly be irrelevant to this petition, because this question about how results were transmitted is critical for the determination of the authenticity that she's claiming for the results that she declared.
Mr. Chikata, could you kindly point to the paragraph of your petition that this question is related to?
The paragraph that is related to is the paragraph of the first respondent's petition, as I indicated earlier. Answer.
Which paragraph?
The first respondent.
Which paragraph?
Paragraph 5, I referred to earlier. Paragraph 5, where she sets out, where the first respondent, not she this time, the first respondent, Electoral Commission, sets out the 4-stage procedure.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And so, my submission, the question how this collation was transmitted, or how the results from the collation center at the constituency were transmitted to the regional collation center, and how the results transmitted from regional collation were transmitted to the headquarters. Those questions 4 and 5 are clearly critical to what was actually done in this election, not just what is required to be done in general terms, but what was actually done. And, Lords, we cannot see how questions 6, 7, and 8 can be described as irrelevant either. And my lords, in paragraph 6, with respect, what the deponent seeks to do there is to anticipate your lordship's granting us leave, because she's giving an answer to that question, and respectfully we would like her to wait until you have given us leave to serve her, and then we can read her answer at that point. She is anticipating it in paragraph 6, and we are grateful for that anticipation, but that should await your lordship's grant of leave and the service on her, the service on the first respondent of the interrogatories. My lords, there are other responses in the remaining paragraphs. I only comment on the one suggestion that we are unnecessarily attempting to delay the trial. Nothing could be farther from the truth. And we actually take exception to that suggestion and that averment in the affidavit. We take strong exception, in fact, I may say, to that suggestion that we are attempting. The purpose of discovery, as I've indicated, is to limit the matters for trial. And if only she would just stick to answering those interrogatories, I think the processes of this trial would be expedited rather than to make facetious statements about our intentions. We are therefore respectfully asking that your lordships grant us leave, and I believe that upon these interrogatories being filed, they can accelerate the processes for responses from the first respondent, and therefore for the further processes of this trial. That is all.
This is Angel 102.9.
Yes, my lords. My lords, we are opposed to this application. Lords, we rely on all the depositions in our affidavit in Lord, the answer to the question are in the petitioner's own. The answer filed by the first respondent, also the answer by the second respondent. My Lord,
this is Angel 102.9.
Regulation 44.9 of CI 27 sets out how the first respondent clear
This is Angel 102.9.
and in it questions being asked of us. Where did the regulation pop up from? It's all in the law. That is saying that it is in the law before this court. And those are the steps that the first respondent followed. My Lord.
is Angel.
Session of the.
My Lord, right. Regulation 44 sub 9. Regional collation officer shall, upon receipt of the presidential election collation as set out in Form 9 of the presidential election results summary sheet as set out in Form 10 of the schedule from the district electoral officer in the presence of the public and with not more than 2 counting agents appointed by the parties contesting or the polling agents of the party the presidential results from the constituencies as set out in Form of the schedule. Fill the presidential regional results form as set out in Form 11 of the schedule. Presidential regional results summary sheet as set out in Form 12 of the schedule. Request the so my lords, it is all set. It is where what is done at the regional level. My lords, we said in our answer that indeed the governor had signed 13 of those. We have also stated in our answer that where a party fails or refuses to sign on any of the forms at this stage of the process goes on.
This is Angel 102.9.
That's just a second.
That you are submitting before the court that your responsibility is stated in the law, as you rightly stated. Yeah. So, can you? I know, depending on the ruling of this court, you may have to answer or. But
my lord, regarding you are asking about question 4 and 5. Yes, because as we have stated, I think somewhere in the answer is transmitted by fax. Now, my lords, we would also realize that the questions posed seek to introduce through the back door new facts which are not anywhere in the petition before this court. My lords, I wish to refer your lordships to the case of Nana Adodanko Akufo-Addo versus John Dramani Mahama and the EC. Lords, is reported at page 61 of the special edition of the Supreme Court of Ghana Law Reports. My lords, I would draw the court's attention to page 71, and with your kind permission, let me read what the court, the Supreme Court, speaking to Adina JSC said. In the circumstances, we hold that the petitioners are sufficiently and well informed about the election results, which has enabled them to mount this petition on grounds of malpractices in 4,709 polling stations based on the contents of these duplicate documents in their possession. The affidavit in support of the application does not disclose any need for the inspection and making photocopies of original documents. Thus, I wish the court to apply this decision and hold that the matters for which the petitioner interrogatories are well within his domain, and he was well armed with those before he filed the petition in this matter, and therefore he is bound by his pleadings in the petition and therefore cannot come through the back door and seek further information through these means. Lords, I would also wish to refer your lordship to the Metronunu case, Lords, Yours it is Metonunu and others versus the Electoral Commission, 2007 to 2008, Supreme Court of Ghana Law Report, 1250. Lords, I wish to draw the court's attention, with your kind permission, to the obiter dictum of Dateban JSC. It says, it should be noted in particular that Article 49.3 requires the announcement of the voting at the polling stations before they are communicated to the officer. Such announcement has the effect of the results in the public domain. Observance of Article 47 means, in effect, that the Independent Commission publishes at each polling station the results from that station. We do not therefore see the need to, as a condition of the validity of the declaration of the election of the president-elect, the added publication obligation that the plaintiffs have argued in this case. If the election system operated by the defendant could not function without such a publication, we could have been persuaded to imply such a publication in order to make the system workable. So, my lords, the point we are making is that there are 8,000 polling stations countrywide. Petitioner are appointed agents in each polling station. The results were form filled, his agent refused to sign, he moved on to the constituency, he had agents there, they signed, if they refused to sign, he moved on to, and so on, and then the presidential returning officer got all these sheets. The petitioner's own agents signed 13 of them. The second respondent's agent signed 14 of them. Of the 12 other agents signed, there was no total signature on all the 16, but based on the system. So, my lords, the information seeking well before the court in the petition, in the answer. Therefore, it's our prayer that the application be refused.
Mr. Amenuvo,
yes, my lord.
My understanding of part of the submissions of the petitioner is that in 2013, during the 2013 election petition, an application was made for interlocutories by the then petitioner before this court. And the court granted it.
Yes,
the decision given by Badebe JSC at from page 54. And so this is a similar application for interrogatories, which is before us. So this is being used as precedent.
No.
So what do you say? Because counsel is entitled to rely on precedent and invite the court to follow precedent already set out.
My lords, distinguishable precedent. My lords, with respect, the 2013 situation is different. And mind you, my lords, interrogatories, grant or refusal, is discretionary. And it has to be based on the set of facts at every situation. It doesn't arise in this case. It doesn't. And that is why I said, yes, there is precedent, but precedent is distinguishable based on the facts and the processes that are before you in the pleadings, my lords.
So why are you saying that in this particular case it is not applicable? In
my
this
lords,
particular petition, why are you saying it is not applicable?
Because the answer he seeks are all in the document before the court. And then the law that they themselves are rely on, which we also rely on, they are there. I just read to you the steps. You are asking me that when did the original issue come up, etc. If you read the law, you see that it is in there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, my lords.
102.9.
My lords, I pray that I be permitted to make a few observations of law.
Are you making observations, or you should be permitted to respond?
Submissions.
I think the application is basically directed at the first respondent, because you will not be compelled to answer any question. If I understood counsel for the petitioner, you are not under any obligation whatsoever to answer any of the questions serialized in the document annexed to the affidavit.
Yes, my Lord, and it is true that no specific interrogatory has been directed to the second respondent. However, we are an interested party in this matter, and if we can assist the court on legal issues, we think we should be permitted to do so.
Yeah, Mr. Akutampa, if, as you rightly said, if it's a legal issue, if it's a question of law, we can hear you, because seriously you did not file any affidavit in position with regard to the facts.
That is what
so as a party in the petition and an interested party, if there's any legal point you want to address for the benefit of the court and all the parties, I think you can do so.
My Lord, very briefly. My Lord, I think the first point to make is that interrogatories must relate to matters in contention between the parties. And that is clearly set out, my lords, in Order 22, Rule 1A, Rule 1, Sub 1A. It reads, with your permission, a party may apply for an order, A, giving the party leave to serve on another party interrogatories relating to any matter in question between the parties. My Lord, and it is further reaffirmed by 6A of the same rule, which states a proposed interrogatory which does not relate to a matter mentioned in paragraph A of sub-rule 1 shall be disallowed, notwithstanding that it might be admissible in cross-examination. So it's a well-established rule of the common law that a matter that may be refused in interrogatories may be allowed during cross-examination. So our position is that all the issues that they are raising here, and if you look at the pleadings, are not in contention. They have been sufficiently answered. There may have been admissions which put them out of contention. And the petitioner may have his occasion during cross-examination to throw some of these questions at the EC. Furthermore, my lords, it is our case that if your lordships consider the questions as to NCA, there's nothing in the petitioner's case that raises that matter as an issue. Very well. So my lords, that
allowed to make some raise points of law to assist the court.
Yes, my lord.
You are
now,
taking that
finally.
Yes.
The final point I want to make
yes.
is that counsel for the petitioner referred to Baregbe JSC statement in the earlier presidential petition, but he did not quote Grill LJ, because what Grill LJ said is significant. And my lords, with your permission, I'll I'll read from here. It is, however, the nature of fishing interrogatory trying to get, for the purpose of the defendant's case, evidence which he has not already got. On these grounds, having regard to what has frequently been decided, that because any question is a proper question to put in cross-examination, it is not therefore necessarily a proper question to put in interrogatories. We have decided that interrogatory 3 also ought to be disallowed as being a fishing interrogatory. And it is our submission that these interrogatories are indeed fishing interrogatories and should be disallowed.
102.9.
May I, with your leave, just address a couple of points. Lord, I would respectfully first observe that counsel for the first respondent in effect admits the relevance of these interrogatories because he claims that they are dealt with in their answer. So there can't be any doubt that they are relevant. And the question whether they are in fact dealt with in the answer is the question that your lordships are going to have to decide. But he said that those matters in the interrogatory are dealt with in the answer. Now, my Lord, the second point I respectfully make is that he said that everything is in the law, and those are the steps that the EC is supposed to follow. We know that. We know what is in the law. But the interrogatories are designed to elicit what actually took place in order for your lordships to determine whether they were in accordance with the law or not. So you can't just keep telling us that everything is there in the law, everything is there in the law. We know that. But we have to establish a certain factual basis on which,
with lots of respect, it's my learned friend, we arguing?
No, this is not really arguing a point. He is responding to the issues you raised when you quoted the
Yes, but my Lord, it will have to be on points of law, as is the tradition in the courts.
Counsel,
yes, my Lord.
Let him proceed.
and my Lord, learned counsel also referred to what Justice Adingra said. And I believe he quoted from page 71. My Lord, I respectfully draw your Lordship's attention to the fact that the decision of Justice Adingra was in respect of an application for further and better particulars. It was not the interrogatories. The interrogatories were dealt with in the decision of Justice Badegbe. And in her decision, in respect of the application for further and better particulars, her leadership actually makes it clear she makes it quite clear that her decision is to the fact that there are other applications pending, including the application for the interrogatories. And basically what her ladyship was saying in the passage which I'm about to refer to is that those other applications are sufficient to take care of the matter which is being there. So that decision, which is about further and better particulars, respectfully cannot, it cannot be a basis for the submissions made. And as regards the reference on obiter dictum of Justice Databa, the less said about obiter dicta in this particular case, the better. I respectfully submit that far from us coming through any back door, we are actually coming through the front door of the Electoral Commission based on their own answers in order to ascertain the facts on the basis of which this court can reach a just determination.
Yes, for my edification, question 6. Question 6.
Yes, my lord.
How does it relate to the pleadings so far filed before this court?
My lord, counsel actually claimed that they talked about faxing. Now, all these communication systems, phones, faxes, fall within the authority of the National Communication Authority. And therefore, my lord, a question as regards whether there was any facilitation by the National Communication, my lord, I need hardly acknowledge that, I mean, the security of, communications in terms of an election process, all those matters are clearly important in the context that your lordships are faced with. So the question whether the National Communication Authority, as the institution that is legally mandated to have responsibility for communications facilities in the country by law, whether they facilitated in any way the transmission of results, my lord, is an appropriate question.
Mr. Chikata, this is not one of the grounds which you have stated in your petition for invoking our jurisdiction. Look at your petition. It's not one of the grounds. The mode of transmission of the results is not one of the grounds.
My lords, with the greatest respect, the mode of transmission cannot be a ground for a petition like this. The mode of transmission cannot be a ground. The mode of transmission becomes relevant in an adjudication related to what the first respondent is claiming was done. The first respondent has filed an answer and made certain claims. Now, my lord, those claims don't need to appear in our petition to be relevant. Those claims are the claims that are put in answer, and therefore issue is joined in respect of those claims that have been made in the answer. So the question that we are raising about the mode of transmission is critical, because it is a question that enables this honorable court to determine the authenticity of whatever transmission took place. That question is extremely relevant. And I believe learned counsel for the second respondent claimed that it can be asked in cross-examination and so on and so forth. But we don't need to wait for cross-examination. The purpose of dealing with it at this stage is to avoid having to go through lengthy cross-examination.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is Angel 102.9. This is Angel 102.9. This is Angel 102.9. This is Angel 102.9. This is Angel 102.9.
All right, Angel 102.9 and live also on Angel TV.
Okay, very short argument and come back to the way.
All right. Enti said Ugusu awoshe no interlocutory petitioners no file ye Supreme Court no and lawyer Odi petitioners na name lawyer Chachu Chikata argue in the case we and afei Supreme Court so Emma Electoral Commission for so a lawyer kwan Emma so a canensem no we no bisa lawyer Akutam Power on so and a second respondent which and another Danko Akufado Musa then almost worker woman file bibia ntia de abano de nanso no as I say ebo modern afei wo mo bibia efamra mu de a ombetumi aka and almost so ache wono madwen judges na mo mu say be sma edu entem no ombesa bana afei wo mo de ruling no de aba chairman
and one can ohwemu yesa na enema no esi ekona ema era Chatuchi kata kwan se ensama hodo a ode abedan court no ene ne ompeso omu court no ye no ombo ho kwadu ombe hu kakra fiafia ho na ye hu ne ekoso na chese onso kan ni de nyina no ewie ye no na ebibo ho no mu a ade ba kwa aye key on the presentation no the mode of transmission of the election results. Ama Chatuchi kata aka say a few way election no se na esi ye no new setups be by the regional center aka under normal circumstances no nanka a polling station to constituency to district and then to national, but they say the regional ababeshem any identity court no hwe na ombisa onhye mame Jane Mensa ne o declare na Nana Dankwa Akufo the winner of the election no na onchemu nientia 9th January 9th December Mr. Facheme yeto abani wieye na obeye declaration na mistakes or see mistakes ewumu yenhye no nomra chirichirimu nientia na mistakes ni ade ewumu eno nso ye baako ano so mode eka ho na obobon nsem ni bi eso kokona anim no na aye se no di kan eka no respondent no enso echemu a case ni bi hono mu a ana say interlocutors ni bi hono mu anya de a ehun behia ntebe yanka Supreme Court kra no embo some of the interlocutors no ebi engu ene ade ehun decision emma ebi no county na ajaje for no ama omu emusune bia mo ba on be make certain decisions and I say directives on certain requests bia ne petitioners naka and what the respondents are also saying say be ya yembongu kankane first respondent and second respondent meche nanado and electoral commission nti me did say bia omonko asita no ba 10 minutes time there about no na say omonya conclusion as to what directives to give say ebuomu or say bogu ntine say kwadu nan ensem nan kasa nyambon remu nemu wabono tofa na apostle edem so atachire ne entia omo bisa sa ne man se court no ebetie na omutie wi a chire nsem the court na decision omo ebeye it will be interesting when they come back what directive they will be given. Say indeed, ebi honma yemongu and say ombe hold on to sa nema no. Omo hold on na neche say idea ebe bi ho kwan ama ye bora sa asem no mu ankasa na defense bi wo mu so a the first and second respondent no so omo etimi e de omo response and as a defense omo e de aba. Enti say that's where we are now. Ti etwa so monko ja uko court friend say ahemfie na ahemfo tenase na yedi asem a omo se ye ko bisa abre wa aba enti nima ni bi ho so normal in court proceedings say do baby a kankan court anya judge ba ko pe even judge ba ko crowd me ka so oba wako ni chambers aba otimi ko ekoyo no a ne hwemu bia ne ade a hu behia no na waba na o direction bia na futu bi na bibisa no da beto dwanti bia na court no Supreme Court for na ko nko bisa abrewa ensem ba ko menu mi ensem bia enkankan respondent no echemu abeya anka yembo enwu.
But looking at the way almost see Ashasi and they Asa didn't be issue.
Emubashi na nebema emuashi no of course court here bia ye kwatwe manso baby amanso twimo bia so eja enegu ho enkankan se abedu baby a we twen se yemfa nko na me en pese me gina so de kama asem na afa enso ka se da bi saa asem a wo ken se yemfa nko na nya de a de adwuma eye brofoka sem se bogus grounds and I say bogus argument any idea ho and this eja no ebeba no emubashi this is just the beginning I didn't bash we expect say emubashi but oni nyina mu no do baby a judge for be mu so a number here to give certain directions any idea sa na omo ye nsesi ase nko bi sa abro ambra no eno so ebebem ebekoso pa.
All right, and you know we're still live covering the election petition. 2020 aba yekoto ye no imuno de ekoso ni nyina no na wotie no but we are live on Angel TV, live on Angel 102.9 and all our partner stations across the country. It's you know yen share said e be kono ajaji for na page wo mu se sema edu ana echiri entemono ombebo modi ase wonum ebeba afei anu ye wo ho no omo etimi ede aba but yeah hwe what the isi lawyer no kai ni mu se de na reliefs na obusa ni na wo interlocutory ni mu no ewo eye CI na ye de kokoto abadim wonye lawyer ni but wo hwa judge simba
who say last election no judges ni be decisions who say na individual decisions in e kan bo mu na enya a certain figure bia so say wenum agitum dia and na ya giatum say wenum anyi ntum dia and na eno so sa ni nyina mu no precedents e wo but who say we to an about to a difference kakra e wo and na lawyer Chatu kan say even the mode of transmission of the results is different from what we have known. Far different from what we have known. Is Seban say, sa new Shishaya Abba enye Fenesen Chatu and the clients ne de. It me prove say indeed there was something that went on wrong in the mode of transmission. Me super anunti na amachachu air force say ebeya ye mama Jane Mensa emme ansa how she got her figures first results now or declare how she got her figures na the idea. So mo hwem na say it is of any material relevance to what Chachu Air Canada ni say nya idea court ebehe ama ya strike ama no accord they will hold it na but and the decision finally rest with them senior Chachu onokra do baby kra kan so well the decision will
radio
okay
yours
yeah kwa ma so na fe ye ne ama ampofo entwaso from Supreme Court ama machibium
Major so
yeah who say Supreme Court apeja omumu na yete de koso say den ankasa na ekoso
Sese mi no ka say ya peja ye mu kakra Supreme Court atemuafo nso no say ye ma omo break kakra o hwe anobaba ya akoso a ena no pe na nka agenda nka say da pono so ene say pre-trial no na ye ba be fiase nanso ebra ye du ya ye fra asem no enka ne mampani John Dramani Mahama so regional electoral commission chairperson Jane Mensa original sanso na openi a obejinam ediama omampani na nado danko Akufo-Addo makmenu original no Chachu Chikata no and lawyer penny edema enkane mampani John Dramani Mahama esre court and said or motion back was the court and said as so move na the court ni begia 2 months akra na yatwa assembly di anase ne agenda no eso eno na court man e kwan na nsem nyina ne say eye nkrata bia enura anwumre of file ya eye questions mako dumiensa ena owa opese obisa electoral commission we de enye omampani John enye omampani na nado danko Akufo-Addo nemum electoral commission nkoa ena wo question na obisa na questions no eye mako dumiensa questions no ebi ene say opese ohunu kwan a electoral commission efa so transfer vote no anase your kenkan wie ye no ekwan ofa so efi district eba region eba national ekwan be no fa so our transfer results ni nyina eba bedu nkramantem a
ama line no article ama besan aba oba you need to find it out from that.
Because na ama wona me kwana me wo no the mode of transmission. Okay, judges ne baako e ka say na transmission mode of transmission ya ugina ho ane ade wo petition a wo de aba ne nsam a se yen hwe ne enka no eno enka ho na Chachu Chikata say ampa enka ho nanso so ehu be hia yie pa enam se na be ya figures bi electoral commission dey ato abonte no nkekawa ene efin bia emma ho na etinye die bia nso so amba to kire mode no a wode ye na so be cheche mu a eno so be ma ebia gidie kakra na aka no etimi aba electoral commission ne figures a wode the declaration no
ama saba okay ama line tekoye we de kafra
yo captain na metua so ale bia na medura me cheche me questions mako edumiensa eye Chachu Chikata no eye lawyer penny edema nkane mampani John Dramani Mahama ebisa question dumiensa ebi ene se obisa se ekwan benso ena electoral commission efa so equality ana so kenkan aba ni nyina wie or transfer aba no efi district eba regional emefi regional so ebedu national ema okeka bo mu eka se omampani na nado danko Akufo-Addo ena edi nkonim wose wope answer ewo ho ebi obisa se ebe electoral commission oba penny no na ye returning officer no e declare results ni ewie ye no boarding se omampani na nado danko Akufo-Addo na edi nkonim ebere ben potin ena wo hu se mistake abem eni to obey correction and say errors bi abem was stand be say bi o say ebere hu se errors abem no of frefre collation centers no and say a pink sheet no wo frefre eye insiesie and say o correct some mistakes na say errors na wo hu no o correct ya na was say bi o say NCA eye National Communication Authority jumedie ben potin e na wo mu di ye e wo transfer ni ye quality ye kenkan abani wi jumedie potin ben e na wo di ye we ne nsem bebra eye mako edumiensa Chachu Chikata no eye lawyer penny e de men kane mampani John Dramani Mahama e se obisa electoral commission eninti ye mane kwan e mo o the citation bebre e bai na bro kase wie na Justin Amanuvo ono eye lawyer penny e de my electoral commission enso so region not there bi ne Chachu Chikata kan de we de meka se enam mra kwanso eni ti odi kan ase court nse court mo sa ensem we nyina entumu esansa wo say questions mako edumiensa na wo hwehwe ni nyina e wo mra ni emra ne de an o say ye hwe public elections regulations na ni nyina sa questions mako dumiensa nyina e wo mu enu achi o si isi adwuma wodi ye efa 2020 abatwa ye to ye ni nyina wode sa emra no na ye adwuma enti se ne Chachu Chikata begina court dem a eka se obisa questions mako dumiensa o pe answers a wo si we de ohu ni se enya answers no pe nemum ensem bi o mu refi ya o mu petition o man fan shem amfa ama court no eno eno pe so wo fa back door na ode eba be shem ebi o san echire mu se ono a petition anankasa answers na wo pe no ne nsem a ode abeda court se court ni ma no wasi wo hu ni se ono a answer ne ho deda obi sa question wasan bua ne ho deda eninti lawyer Justin Amanuvo echire mu se questions mako edumiensa lawyer Chachuchi Kata ehwehwe no ono ama ne ho ansa deda enti ehu ehia ehu ni mfaso bia ese osan ebisa na bra ono nso na no siye no ena lawyer akoto ampa ono eginam ediama omampani na nado danko akufuado ese original no so wasem ka na ne de eye point of law eye emra so ena wogina ede ne ncheche maba ena court ni se na wankasa kora no we questions na ankwa ama enti den na apese oka ena o se eye point of law enti otemuafo eye apel eka che ni se eni o ma ne sema onto na asem no so na no ena wo kire mu se nya wo kan nyina eni se emra no eda na dipefe eye public regulations elections no eda na dipefe questions maku edumiensa na wo kan ho asem nyina o se e wo mra nim enti ono so na asem na wo kan nyina ne se wo kan kwesi se ensem maku dumiensa Chachuchi Kata ebisa jemo entumu eno ena wo wie na Chachuchi Kata original no se opese osan edi emuaye ba esan so kasa wie yen electoral commission lawyer kasa Samson Akutampa onu jiri mama MPP nso akasa eninti ni mo yen ode ba HSM se electoral commission lawyer original ekase ensem no wanwin bi ho anwie anasa wakohu ensem foforo bi na opese wode fa backdoor eba wo se dabi ensem no entisa nemum ye kasa interlocutors anasa discoveries anasa interlocutors ni nyina kire se maye kwan na sa questions ya ye bi say de ye ntwen ma wo metina adakam na yakase ye be cross examination na ya bebisa na ade answer ba nemum questions ya ye bi say de twirogu nkrata so na fabra animanim ya na ye hu say de ye bisa ye no odi anu yaba nemum se isi lawyer any MPP for lawyer na se na nado lawyer eba ka se adwen foforo bi anasa evidence foforo bi na wanya e no pese wo de fa backdoor ba Chachuchi Kata kan asresem se onfa electoral commission backdoor nemum electoral commission front door no eno na ode efa ho aba enti meka se captain me bone tofa dia aha eya sumdue aha ye kama enche atemuafo no besan betina se questions maku edumiensa Chachuchi Kata bisa yen electoral commission lawyer Justin Amanuvo ansan ama atemuafo no kura bisa se ekwan ben so na wo fa ya wo transfer abato na ye to ye no kenkenwe ode kwa wo chem se eye facts na wo fa so e de transfer from district to regional to national eninti meka se questions no e fa ba bi wo ho a wa answer baby wa on answer na ya sa to ade amacha Chachuchi Kata say adan no nya botre ntwempo na nka yemfa so ba pani ema jemensa electoral commission entina dekam nya cross examination eno de obisa na waka obisa na waka nanso ni nyinam Chachuchi say baby on twem nkotu sa abere no eninti baby say baby yedu ni say atemuafo na sorry kwaba some baby atu de beka some be grant anasa on grant no omo betina sia ene ebehu se sen ene ebeko ansakra nene pre-trial no yagba eho ankasa.
Okay then mamenda wase amamo weni indi echire na feidi ebeba mbia no na wetimi aboye mu amane why amano no na amampofo ene wo Supreme Court petitioning obedi echire sa kosi se yede bewie nyame ya adoma judges ne ba na se some be grant you so one grant you no and they won a betray na we are some grant you so one grant you na some beto aso dia and ye yenso ye beto aso e wo ha na de bi on betena se bia no will be also be sitting na fe yetimi eno abobo ho na yetimi ede niama no nyina so ede abrel me hu niama bi enkrofo e tro na ade na bi no so it is most likely say bia judges no be granted one because they think that bia na nkrofo say omo ye bias ni ade in order not to be seen as bias. People are thinking like that, and then others are also writing say easy lawyer nankasa so age atums already say the omubisa no answers no wo hodada. These answers no hodada they na chese omo grant kra na no so no enya de. These are some of the reasons that people are writing and thinking that it may also one way or the other help the judges if they want to actually grant it. Now omo grant it, omo grant it so there. Chairman, what do you think?
I think so will be questions be now will be a hand be so say court no ebetimi amanche mu aba no beye say court no decide say on grantee it becomes precedence and I say and so beye emrabi cry on its own me dey akoye mrahye bedwa akoye a courtroom court to them and sense me nyaya anka omo grantee na bibia won bia sometimes o grantee and the legalities been in there sometimes definition and then them first petition yetiminya a friend is saying there was a contention about what is called overvoting or overcounting nominee a bloated way nominee no the Supreme Court was able to give us after their process what really their true definition should be by way of law. And the bend nema back minum and sabi woma say shane de ko anim ni ade abi nso a de suan hu foforo bi ani nchemu papa bi ebe brain na mra bi nso a ye betimi ade so omo decision mu ade aye adwuma no na etimi abem for me if it's granted can be me but of course the decision as I always say belongs to the judges. Yes.
All right. Mike George at Shaw Facebook said Captain Angel FM should help Ama Brakwampofo to pursue law if she's already not doing it. The lady is good. Thank you. Chairman, I know what your comments in the so hona for you. Okay.
Mate.
Comments in the also.
This is Angel.
Okay. Going forward, judges in the bottom betnasia. Yebeba modiana fe and sama hodwa womde be banon so yebe fano live na wetimi atini nyina but you can also bring your comments yebe kan comment the amount but your comment ni be ho a wotro na se yen ya dwene mu no ye hu se de asem ba menya ready se mekwa kogina Supreme Court me kan srawara enti se o ebia nyame aso dae se case no say ne beye and I say na ya entro ma me ha obetimi atro de ba me nkan wo wasem busa bia obetimi ebusa ubusa ye be kan asem busa ne de ama echi nya lawyer fo bia ebetimi ama wonso so eyi anoyi ade ama eti atro ebusa 13 questions and nama a judge for no edi apeja womu ebun enche wombeba abetna ase yebesa kwa ama ho se omunya mba yi me kai say 2013 die no judges number ya na inside where the pa enkomo ekoso inside ho no me ayada de tete kire ne hia me inside the judges number ya ada che say obi abeka na no atum de ni na machire no ya me fa menua kabakra nsie ye o se kwadwo de kumi pa ne nkate na wachire na ya wie no nkate na wachire na engrofo we ne kaba ba bia wo bia ne nyame emfa wo kra nsie eyi
na o kan se me se metima kan comments ne bia obi dia odi ehia me wa ha abena Obenewa Asante was a Kwamna. Don't read comments. Why? My humble advice. I don't know why. Maybe now umpese meko friend is saying a bet me contempt of court 20 and now I'm for the face captain say Kwamna Obwa and can be a comment. Anyway, I'm on for so you can also write yours. Because judges no grantee na 13 questions maneko a kaminka when say share kwamina grant what Dominic Safo and anyway also share kwamina grant what akwaneni abre kwabra unim ne woka Heti Bedu also don't mind him says you know da. Okay, wait. I think it's reaction to somebody's comment. I'm a black comment now. We back.
You saba. Na yemfa ama ampofo. Obama kwa babium.
Major so captain.
Edwuma we dey say dey sana me no be metwe samanko saa.
Enya hwe sanity.
Ai. Say ya judges ni hoyi. Inside honkate area dey say inside what is say. Inside what is say agaza.
Captain they do say I na who say old friends are good because who say ebi ma shesha omonyon nom hu ma che enfam so omo NDC enfam so omo MPP. Dodo na sorry cheche omo ho e na isan say COVID-19 eya onchia ne nsem na say ne na beti na ode apem ne nyonko kakra obi ana ne nan no de apem ne nyonko e kakra say inside the form ho ne de eye baabi anka ne mampani John Dramani Mahama ti a lawyer for no etini de eya de a omu nyina obi a atemafo ne sorry say dia na omo fiase e beka say we ko ne nyonko nche no ne na akobo nkomo kakra no we akọ ne nyonko nche no akobo nkomo e kakra esoro ansem shofo no so ego no eya dia meka say sanity and central foundations the phones in the ban is here no we are sorry Dimrika echo e ma be a form one na meka say penny for no etete no eya dia BNI for national security for penny for bomb homodin atnet na mu mako sene ebe ya ebia menim so obi kasa bi obeka anasa ombetinya monitor nyema sa na meka me say me gidi say national security for ni BNI fire plant home e wo court dey alone say beka ni ye bi e court no gidi but a form what at a move for nya sorry na say pije ya kata court rise ni nyina ye pije ni mu e pije mu wi ayen na say ene obe hu an say we offer ha na we offer ha no we offer e nchi ane nkomo and I don't say lawyer for no credit to a lawyer for it to no mo bochinku na omo di nkomo kakra no smart ni de obi a ehye kama meka say enka ne mampani John Dramani Mahama de ob but na yen e one or the car say call try to page ni mu a otina se no oni nkomo bia wo ma na Joyce Bawa Mutari ono ne kata ma fotronko kra ono no tina chi se bi wo ma na wadane ne ho eko no akwakodi enkomo sanso na meka say lawyer Tamaklo eduoji so te enka ne mampani John Dramani Mahama nenim enti se bi nya no so dane ne ho no ne nkomo sanso Dr. Dominic Ayeni ono ye mashebedwani ono so ote enka ne mampani John Dramani Mahama nim ntubo se nkomodi no ye between enka ne mampani John Dramani Mahama Joyce Bawa Mutari ono the spokesperson Dominic Ayeni na Broji Tamaklo nti wo ma meka se na empanifo ye ndisi pompanifo bi sorry no makoche enka ne mampani John Dramani Mahama sanso na meka se MPP afemu so Peter Makmenu ube se no sorry no afoche ntinje wo sorry say dia enchiana na wo se omo chiche omo edim koma na lawyer for ne so edi wo mo nkomo na mo chiche omo sa sanso na opie eba bonti wo se eyefe ye hu NDC for ye hu MPP for wo mu se obi atena afa MPP for etena afa na NDC for te wo mafa na so hu se odo ene enkabom no wo ho a ye be ansakra ne be wi a wo sorry say omo chiche wo bonti anso a meka se ene de etitafo ne kakra aba ebi titititi walls ne so ewa bonte compound la na no plan so anasa meka say wie ya die ba ye mehu emrante ne maba obi the first time ye adwade twum no aye ba ye no na omo shatade kokwa ya twum count my vote justice is ours ene de omo dọọsụ si enum no me ha mani nka omo ko be edunum ko eduonu 15 to 20 ena me de mani akane kana omu wo ha me gidi se ehedo eyenije ena wo atemafo ni na sori de a meka se eyenchia nko a ena ye chiechia ye ho edididi nkomo wo ho kakra kosi se ombesan de aba
so we share yeah share TV se ya ni those on Facebook no na betimi hu ni ye mo amutie radio ne de me bisa question be security na afa no shipa o soja fo ni hey
Captain, security me sure make us me de to court bigger cases and as a court cases akesi aba na me de to make us nka muntie 3 case no say na security no ete titu ene eda na ye ba be ma judgment ye hu se mrantie no ye de omo ko anase ye mfa omo enko eno ene de no de make us ano ayedin pa ano ayedin esanse se ohwe eniema ekoso enena enekra de nka make us captain ekofo mu kakra security na ye tight esanse ohu ni se enka ne mampani John Dramani Mahama eba ebeka se former head of state ewo ahadia na esese ema security in airtight sanso na Ghana ye apex court ye Supreme Court atemafo mako enson na etnase nti na hu say security no ekosro eno achi Deputy Attorney General Godfred Yeboadame ewo edem ha former information minister and onu ahwe this information minister Pedo Ponkroma ewa ha empanifo twotwo Jane Nana Opoku onu ye running mate and Emma John Dramani Mahama ewa fidiam ha and na won say aha na nkasa nso no aha na circuit court ewo nti meka se kwan ne dooso nti say yama security na anya tighter obi rem na bisa nso okonyo obeka do say mekwa circuit court wan hwe ya woda no ho a na ordinary actually Supreme Court oba be rem na unnim ne oba be nti megidi percent nunti na ma aha ayetight esan say a lawyer for bebre wo cases ewa ha a omoba na esan election petition nti captain mamefa wen council Supreme Court dan na ne team this adwuma ye here election petition ye won annex wo ho a enka ne ye yusu nanso ye japo ho a ene omasiesie mu kama eho na temuafo no etna edi insem fufuro a enye pertaining to election petition into obi betimi aba obi san so kwan so me ko Supreme Court o wasem wo se ai me ko ba bia enye ye petition into na say security ni airtight into captain make say obi sa security na airtight ni ye eye atemuafo e wa ha enka ne make say former head of state John Dramani Mahama wa ha the running mate Edinachi Deputy Attorney General wa ha enen panifo bi a e wa ban wa ha into na say security no e kosoro me gidi say ne senti e na ama aye ne sa
Pacho bi atro se wunya nye law te se me a ye momodin na ye sponsor na koye law obeye law na obeye communication
Captain me law no
and your bobo when me sure say odisika beba
matwadaro
biso hwe ya obisa se we hu say John Dramani Mahama chewing gum na nti onu onko bisa no hwe se
but obisi we hu say
ori bibi
so
onko bisa se den ori
abanta me ni me de officer me hu you na say dem person bibi mani or say captain I saw JDM chewing something can you ask your reporter if she can confirm that JDM was chewing some ebro or
Captain Yameka say mekai say na otwe say na JDM eba court no opie no na me hu say bibi da ne no mo resana no no say ensamtro for yen yet soro ye beka say gallery ho na yete na mpanifo no ewo efom ho JDM be bia mete no me hu atemafo no but omo wo na chi no efa bi ho a me hu no kwani nyame anim ebe ye den so beka ko bisa JDM and as even lawyer nimpo say papa den na wo wanum say court clerk in misaye na meka say warrant officer or court wo hwe court wo say police ni emisaye metemuafo bi anso ntimi misaye say aden na wo bibi court dem na me ama bra kwampo for the way there meka say mesere ntimi misa
ka o sheda nya kukuduro kakra o gada kukuduro kakra
o se gama na tise
o se kuduro
na de ko so no
kuduro ase gama na tise omo ka say how many minutes no be sign there ba
Captain Mpembe baby I'm sorry I'm on minutes but na ye assume say roughly by 5 minutes one say we no a motion into motion and the certain more funny in adwen ko bankrum ye ntimi ntwe say ebe ye unanimous decision so mu nyina adwen ko bankrum and na say ribe di party afi one ka say ebe ye 2 against 3 and na say 5 against 2 eniti ye twen omo chiro wi a minim me obechiro say CJ me preside the major dey say CJ bechiro o chiro wi a ese so mu nyina kan mu ansan obi agya tuma san ni signature wase omo betenase a enu ansa enye be nti se me no kasa de enche ese me boaboa me hu rem ekwatenase kosisa ansana omaba enti me fa ni se ye twa 5 minutes ekwa enim de enche me gidi so mba betenase.
All right then my enda was say ama BBS eche beton safrel
me da sin suti
ai da se papa ama brako ampofo na ote se ye no ebon komo free your reporter wo Supreme Court I don't know kwabena nka wanko benya kudura ko bisa
oh maybe sir honestly maybe sir but we say court them ne temperature ne mood a wo hono say o court them a ye nante court them basa now distract attention any idea and to call to them there baby awokwa wotsena ye ansa na ye share case no ase ana bi a share case na ase na wo room a di no akopa baby no akotena anya court dem on e kodi nkomo no ne sa ne ma ne ade te ba ne sa e be ye den em se no sikan no so journalist for agu aye the gallery ni ye so se na akọ aye parliament house do parliament house ye wo members of parliament na nkasa e wo fam ho a omodi omodwuma ena yen be hwe ade for ne journalist ni ade ne ensu ye gusuro sa na supreme court arrangement no eno so tie enti omo ye participant nankasa omo kwotwe omo manso ne lawyer for ebetwe manso ene omo ya from as witnesses ne ade no omo ena nya akwanya ekọ eye inside eye down ho ankasa but yes obehwe ade ni ana se semtroni no aba ho ne ade de asroa ena betra nto hwe bia ote any baby so no okan John Dramani Mahama so tia although there's a little break it will be very difficult to get closer to him and to be asking him say ejana ho ye de na then na we no mu
okay kwam na yenya ne ntem na fe ye
am for so concerns
ye ntwa ye okay ye wo bibi ba ko bi wo ha ye fam ti judges ne ba se na be ya ye hu
ejama for ntwa ye ndan hu sima ba
ye ba sia
hey sister won ko awato adonko hand sanitizer.
Ordinary people go for ordinary things. Special people go for special things. And you, my wife, you're so valuable to me. As this gold. That is why every single meal here is prepared from my dear gold rice. Every single grain is worth gold. My dear gold rice. For special people. This advert has been vetted and approved by FDA.
Welcome to Dufie Deco Ventures, wholesale of home office furniture. We have in stock office home chairs and tables, conference tables and chairs, dining hall tables and chairs, comfortable soft beds, dressing mirrors, sofas, receptionist desk, computer desk, center tables, spacious and designed wardrobes, and TV stands. You can locate Dufie Deco Ventures at Swan Lake Dance Bar, opposite Mascot Hotel.
We also do wedding decoration as well.
Call us at 0246 7666 36, 0541 957528, 0548 262013, or 0540 491968.
I'm passionate about helping my clients turn up their hairstyles. That is why I only use Easy Waves to give them that smooth, shiny, and styled look. It's all about a professional finish, so they can be confident every time they step out and take on the world. But today it's about my daughter, my most precious client.
Lindiwe, you're on in 5.
I trust Easy Waves. It's styling you can see and feel.
And they call me UJ. When you need a shoulder to cry, run on my pamper, so we try to suicide. Let bygone be bygone. I didn't see what the button gonna do, we go straight to stardom. And I go take you to next level. Oh my baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The energy next level. Oh back baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
goodness level.
Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Africana City is building bamboo bicycles to help children get to school.
Wadwene wehu sɛ enipa bɔne wɔ wiase mu deɛ hwɛ ɛdeɛ na ɛbɛyɛ ya sɛ saa nipa bɔne foi ebetimi ayɛ wo ma anaasɛ wabusuafo bibi
ɛno nti na ɛho hia sɛ wode Trelidol burglar proof for doors and windows ɛbɛbɔ wo ne wabusua ho ban ɛyɛ Trelidol burglar proofing ɛna ɛbɔ me ne mabusua ho ban efiri akorɔmfo nsɛm
frɛ Trelidol sesei a ɛwɔ 0561 24 24 24 anaasɛ wopɛ payment planner for 030 281 7642
Trelidol, Africa's strongest burglar proofing.
City Trust Travel and Tour 10 years in Yaston Ghana 10 years ni eguso e1 say some so ye adwuma e wa amanone komodia for the City Trust Travel and Tour eye ekromi e se na go sudi some so ko Serbia Croatia and Turkey na kokoye adwuma no process abenam e City Trust Travel and Tour anini obedi kan eba ha say aha e consulting room na be share you right Gina Sakwete
was City Trust Travel and Tour.
And also person ko summer travel program bia omodia for the City Trust Travel and Tour na ebetimi aboa am wetimi akọ vacation and as a school and as so person nya working experience no ebeboa am wetimi nya business administration medicine law engineering journalism social science arts marketing and music.
If you try kwan e wa Salam Down yeni across the folk at the boy ehwe nimu your Bank of Africa building nimu
City Trust Travel and Tour, yeah, genuine, trustworthy, and prompt in delivery.
Seattle the second Oguaman Hinian the Ogua Traditional Council in collaboration with Ridge Royal Hotel Cape Coast presents Saberma Royal Award. A award to be a recognized individuals and businesses awabwa in the growth and sustainability of Ogua. Categories are so 2P. One on walk away with the awards for the day. Terwa wasn't ma Oguaman last year za. No, don't worry. Saberma Royal Award comes off on Saturday, January 23, 2021 at the Flash Ridge Royal Hotel Cape Coast. Look your best for the evening in formal or traditional wear. Come, let's party, jam, and cheer on our award winners for the previous year and the review. Like us on Facebook, Osaberma Royal Awards, and follow us on Instagram at Osaberma Royal Awards Ogwa. Call the hotline 050-155-3059 for sponsorship and inquiries. Or you can log on to our website www.osabermaroyalawards.com. Osaberma Royal Awards. Our people, our resources, our business. Thank you. Media partners.
Water. But when I get your mouth, and that's all I want.
Malaria and tea. But you are yet malaria there for you. Enti awo. I shouldn't customers. When you say Mammy, I am smart. I bet CB Malakio. I'm man the buyer or the eco school. Share. Say a Janisi berry market ni malaria and tea. I want to mean. And now Emma will be around to walk. So we have malaria test. Maybe one. And try better one. And the CB Malakio. You do not. And now kick out bomb as soon as I CB Malakio. And no way so there. I don't grow. I yet tata. A drawing near my appeal for about a woman for any quada won't feed me. Susiana, what would you win? FD, I should have a JD and car to you adia to Musa again.
Yes, I say, no, didn't see me grow. Now you be a choir Sabia.
Those garlic capsules, Eboa ama wapomodin etumpong.
Garlic capsules, me moringa powder.
My 10 pieces of Famous garlic capsule.
Now I'm Famous moringa powder and so 10 boxes.
Famous garlic capsules.
Famous moringa soup. Famous moringa lotion. And famous moringa ointment now the marina. A dear 1 minute kunaz kasa. It's your body oil. Skin rashes, a crawl, cacarere, any crocro, send out cannon.
If we Finals Ventures in no papa.
Ubenya Fanos garlic capsules, Fanos moringa leaf powder, Fanos moringa soap, Fanos moringa lotion, and Fanos ointment. Our chemical, herbal, any pharmacy shops.
0244 866 653.
Makers Company Limited, Emma Munina, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. To Samsung, Nasco, Media, Philips, any Toshiba home appliances, any electronics, a 60% discount, any Bebre. 1.5 air conditioner plus free juice maker, 1,499 Ghana cedis. Nasco 4-burner gas cooker with oven plus free kettle, 599 Ghana cedis. Nasco home plus free iron, 449 Ghana cedis. Samsung 32-inch digital satellite TV plus free wall bracket, 999 Ghana cedis. Nasco soundbar, 120 watt plus free iron, 799 Ghana cedis. Nasco kettle, 59 Ghana cedis a pair. Shisha Chirakwan, away showrooms, and what Taifa Burkina Highway. And now I'm a Saman Zongo Junction, adjacent at the A Pharmacy. Fraying, and with 055 22 22 253 and 055 22 22 254.
The only man remember can think of football one animation.
Charlie, Neninje, Missumininje, Uniha, Yahiane, freshman cups.
Not just fresh lady capsule, and more ban. No one is.
Freshman capsules.
Fresh lady capsules, and one ma omotia woman.
Fresh cool capsules, and so I am a cuckoo.
Fresh lady, you're poor fresh.
Fresh products. Hashtag Bobra. FDA, I should say a gradient cut to him at Giatum say.
National with the ruling Nebeba, Jebema was ati. Etino Yasayaba. Chairman.
Yes, could you?
What would you know? So, one more platform. So,
but now I make a man for so concerns, observations actually, you know, it's an observation that had to do an obisubisa say what because we have video, no, and I say live pictures from Supreme Court now, you still see some of the security men as such, especially the military men. There are uniformed military men inside the Supreme Court. Video no a sanko baka ebia obehunia there and somebody is people are also on social media people are asking what are uniformed military men doing inside the court. That one there is just paper amount for observation. Why are more bisani there?
And then a military for no cover be any yebusa say why are they there?
It's because we are not in a military regime. There are things they are not part of. A lot of things.
Number one,
parliamentary proceedings.
And so when you kick the emblem of the whole country, who should come to protect?
That one, it is not them, it's the police.
No,
it's the police.
What for the court of arms?
They say that is the court of arms. Our man is not part of.
Me sure say, oh yeah, and I know so to leave.
That one from free talking about activities and
quite natural saying or otherwise we succeeded for pussy for
go ahead.
Supreme That's what only question. I'm ready for my honor.
Social media, what military people doing inside the super, on presence, I have no, they can be part of. And come that outside home that video so the phone one cruise who did is not needed because so yeah
what's I'm not yet reactions no
one or two Kumasi will be support yeah you become great first like I say I'm a fan of so H and the bomb back so daddy and come ya wa ama una man we here be no we here aye and so unya ade yare akum los sa eboa baby sam po obi aboje soap the eczema be a hot man who on air fans and nani sim na that's best or the best and I'm aye tron back store and I shop and I 6 so it wow her center my dear attention it is no can
judges don't over this year and run at yeah amended election petition commission respondent meet requires first to admit respectively under first within 3 from set say to the ability is was live on radio, television, and other.
Of course, correspondent a petition reported declaration of Mami year 9 December 2020 for radio
and declaration in December 2020 made by Ms. Jane first
presidential video audio and a study declaration.
That means another person of
and say so
of it's December of that of value was 4 total
now or declare presidential ma 10 million 70 I don't know nchemu son abane hamu udwana anu
akai wo
5 number
declaration 2020 says respondent said that second 6 million 5.95% of the total votes
representation of 30 million amount for 9%. Na 6 million one total demand
the person see the claim stated that
Ghana about what I no
of taking figure 100 population
say
votes adequate total 32,000
2018 dear. And the na yemfa enono enka total valid vote. Electoral Commissioner the buy say 13,434,574 valid vote cast. No James and I can't say what they can ho sadia na chese total valid vote amounts to total valid votes no about 13,562,592.
Point number 9. That
we keep to be has say but no okay. Yanko points no more.
Point number 9. That first respondents votes as announced by Mrs. Jane Adokwe-Mensah, the chairperson of First Respondent, in her declaration of 9th December 2020, 6,730,413 amounts to 49.625% of 13,562,592.
And say valid vote na yebe ye hu adwuma sisi ano eni wo say ohwe emma dodo a Jane Mensah ekan se Nana Adodan Kwakufuado enya eninti wawini sa declaration ba 9th December no abana emma na Nana Donyan 6,770,413 enunu uhwe mu a it amounts to 49.625% of 13,562,592. Next, so the 30 man south, ebe kan na mamini kita no ho dia na ma dodo a na do nya no enya de odu 50% plus 1. Na say 49.625%.
Yes, okay. Figures no or the share hold. Okay. All right. Yanko point number 10.
Because say figure na ewo 0.9. You can want to say so figure we a figure ye de techima south no a electoral commissioner ka say nka no wo mo de sa figure na wo constituency no e de aba be ka figure na mame ne kita no say mame no answer no be declaration na
o mo de kan we be ko nipa ba ko
atiu say on fan kan no na eye me ba wo
chama yen kan ye de yen kan ye what
man no anu
yen kan we ya that when the percentages of the valid votes cast and standing to the names of each of the presidential candidates as announced by Mrs. Jane Adokwe Mensah, the chairperson of First Respondent, on 9th December 2020, are summed up, they would yield a total of 100.3%.
And into a percentage of the valid vote cast. I just say a mother do I to ye I know ye jitu mu say and ye be kind na kan bia eni na o de hye edi aye Jane Mensah e de buy fa na nado ene ono no ho na o de ni nyina kan bomu a na chese abana amanfo
atwa kwamna Supreme Court aba
ho abano ebe 100.3% into we 0.10 ho no okay kan nyina bom senior Jane Mensah declaration no 9th no dia na chese total percentage no 100.3%, which mathematically no.
All right, it's a young call back to the Supreme Court.
This is the ruling of the court. The petitioner applicant has prayed this court to grant the application to serve interrogatories. The basis for the application, as argued by legal counsel for the petitioner applicant, is to assist the court to narrow issues for the trial of this petition. Interrogatories under common law is discretionary. It should be granted or refused when all the circumstances are taken into consideration. It should be noted that the questions seek to elicit should relate to the issues raised and the relief sought in the petition. Interrogatories must be relevant to the issues and relate to the matters in controversy between the parties. In this petition, the petitioner and the first respondent. The court is of the opinion that the crucial issue of relevancy has not been established in this application. Reference was made to the 2013 election petition titled Danado Dankwa Akufo-Addo and two others versus John Dramani Mahama and two others, 2013 Supreme Court Organo Law Report, Special Edition, page 50, in which an application to serve interrogatories was granted by this court. However, subsequent to 2013, several statutory amendments have been made by CR 99 of 2016, which has restricted the practice and procedure of this court as regards election petition. Indeed, Rule 69C4 of the Supreme Court Amendment Rule CR 99 directs the expeditious disposal of the petition and sets timelines for this court to dispose of the petition. It implies that even amendments ought not to be granted, as well as joinder of parties. Subsequent statutory amendments pointed out after 2013 have provided us with new procedural regime and strict timelines. We are strictly bound to comply with CR 90, and therefore we will not apply Order 22 of CR 47 of 2004 in these circumstances. We accordingly refuse to grant the application, and same is accordingly dismissed. We are grateful to the court.
Judge, you know,
we are most grateful.
Makasa say interlocutory no. Please
bear with your attention. Indeed,
Judge,
we said today we adjourn the matter to today for case management so that we can have the consensus from both parties and proceed to hear the petition. So we hear from you the issues which you think should be set down for. Try. Yes. Mr. Chikata, we want to we are seeking the assistance of both counsel to give all counsel in this case to give us some assistance in arriving at issues so that we can proceed to make consequential orders.
Well, my lords, before we get into that, I may say that we will urgently require a certified true copy of the ruling that you have just delivered so that we can advise ourselves in respect of that. And if we can have it by the end of the day, that would assist in the further processes that will take. Now, secondly, my lord, as I indicated right at the beginning, we have served a request to admit facts, which is a request we have served on the first respondent, and we have also served a request to inspect documents. Now, my lord, in respect of the request to admit facts, again, that is in the nature of a process of discovery, which also comes under CI 47, and we have the clear understanding that in respect of that also, there are a number of days within which we have indicated 3 days within our request to admit facts. Now, that is not an application before you at the moment. I recognize that. However, I'm drawing your attention, the attention of your lordships to it, because that will also affect whatever other steps are being taken in respect of this case. So I think we recognize that you have just given a ruling about the operation of CI 47 and how it's affected by the subsequent CI, which we will advise ourselves on once we have it. And I think that that will guide the process of our recommendations in respect of the case management. The final thing I will say is that I think, as is fairly normal, we are quite happy to set down the issues that are arising from the petition and the respective answers and put that forward so that it is considered by council. I do not think that is a process that is easily done just on one's feet in a courtroom to try to determine what are the issues. I think that a normal process is perhaps with we would issues in yeah, please stretch. One, hopefully do it tomorrow. We are going to take that in to relate issue. See, and I for it's so specific. Not be possible. You look at the flow. Whatever it is, the police. Yeah. Money. And of us being acceptable. It has circumstances. Agent
was fine. The court consider issues proceed on my lord. That if you're not that okay. Hello. Yes.
This angel.
Judge. Then one when him a court now but
tomorrow.
the case anopa can't send that all know. It's not. No. Angel, one no, mobile. Radio 1, Kofrodia, we are also still live there covering the election petition 2020. So this is still the election.
The election
still the election.
It is indeed. So election one and then Krabatabi Akopi has
Akopi Hono.
It's the election.
Now, 12 o'clock news
about petition I.
Petition I. The election.
What can Cape Coast? I'm so weekend or Sabre ma
awards no.
Cape Coast Ridge Royal near the intention ba eba amanfo enya humble player. I was be eba so ntimo mo Cape Coast ni important near de nyina no.
Na wonim say no na yebsi.
Okay. And then
wonim
Debbie.
Me kra me refi.
And then
say boss you na. Ya gentle won Cape Coast ni bi. Empeja won san kire bi.
Saturday.
Minim say say about for that radio. The next 30 minutes. There's something they can do.
My member be tougher our hasem. We hear say Supreme Court asetan aye over this particular petition no ho a. They say yeah can na say MPP team no a legal team no every one ruling. And this was team no we need one.
Okay.
And the first one about last week I moved to Beshe and
some amendment corrections
na respondent omolo essential say yempene mamonye corrections bi ani ade Supreme Court no ruling say there be wapene so say petitioners no any ruling say so interlocutors bi ho ani ade an kon hwe say enka yebetimi ajeje for bedi kan hwe no ansa na yakọ asem na nkasa mu no nso no eno nso omokoko bisa abre wa baa no na chese ne MPP for lawyer na respondent lawyer say ka say yembongu no eno nso so na judges no agitum say yabo MPP for no but filing
tomorrow before
no baby
fans
for Omni Agat restaurant. Oh, yeah, energy drink.
Ready.
Seven. Those that we copy of the this is right. The picture tomorrow morning at was a lot going to be a every for picture or your issue. The application you want an application yes for what can be what said when from coming to your issue
Premo Nana I don't matter mixer Masha say sama pageant hand sanitizer the be the ebehye no omanfo so abrepa ento be hia energy I don't call next level energy drink eno na omo edikuta sa awia Kojo Dixon mene
Ohima sachiwa ahwenepa akrofi
enche bia ebesan akofi ho na yensam kyerefo amo Supreme Court ho no wamo aboemu ezemfufuro bi nso ewo ho pa bia eno edika dedediem da kodan court no se wamo hwe emama megin mensa beka se waye mistake pa se do sibubo ma no wa mo bonie nti ono anyi ntum se ma mo bonie me gwakura na afi bia no kura da no wonhwe no mfanto
ene na esansa abato no mu soso ene enya yemra hyebedwafo na wo se adwuma foforo asenti no yabeti yemra hyebedwam ne akwakotie se wo mokokọ tena ase woni a wo mbehwe amiatete committees ahodo no se de omudwumadie no esiri kọ eno so edi mu nsem ba
nyame anya fast ya nada mo sre yaku nyame anya fast aka anya papa kura pati
ho anya ha
ai kwaku Clement wa be hye mpra charot ansu jama ene nyame ye fast na police for atime ko kire no wati
wọ́n fẹ́ ní ẹ.
ayi nyame yẹ fast pa edu bẹ bi aro ayi.
ẹni ẹna papa bi a wọ́n mfinhyia aduane baako deɛ nyame anyɛ fast wɔ hɔ wakum ne ba ya wɔde mfinhyia nkoro na deɛ kɔkɔ ba yɛ no yɛbɛkɔ kukuom akɔ akotie.
na ɛnam sa drobafoɔ wɔn ehu hia Ghana nti Ghana hia drobafoɔ pa ne passengerfoɔ nyina nti ama wɔn mu ahyɛn ekohodoɔ no. Wamo yɛ ntete de ama droba for sɛ be ya covid no make say approach for so Tasona division commander ne boys and girls wɔn de atam ya wɔn yɛ kyerɛ kwan ya approach for be fa so ama wɔn de covid protocols no ɛho embra yɛ adwuma
asama we ya yɛde bai say wo fa ho na udi matam ketekete kura wa bra nyame sanse emfiri me sansa meme senom kura bi eye ahye saa asɛm mu a asɛm na ha me pa ba we no isɛm yi me hu si nkyɛn as a professional Ghana ni ababa bi a wa video e de akwato TikTok and was say Ghana for mema wo mo wa brochire sabi bebre be 3005 was wo mo abodam for na de nti a wo didi me wo fa no menua mema yi atemo no yɛde ni nyina ba na abehu ababa wa no video so wono ankasa beka am wate
ensem beka wenu ho ɛna yɛde abramu court no afebidie kakra di beba nanso Facebook yeguso aya ye stream live enti mo fa mo de mbra se sa do matie si mainstream manso twin mu pa ya enye adeketu akora se a court nsem de eno na be de kaka kyerem no court no be bia be fa bia Supreme Court wa eno na sisi ano yaduru so na ye be twa enho aba enduru ama broni ehun nsem Ghana fo tinsuo sa ama broni girl fefe ya wono 1000 Ghana nti wo stage no so a okom no to ye ya yesi boys no kwa fam no e be chese da bi wo lete kwa no nsem bebre eno wo nyame anya fast American kwaku Clement nempra ene charity ansu jama na necessary say wo hwa oba bunu ni ho
jama charity na ofaka ho no na
say we never say
mami ye ma sheme no
ba wo say ye buso anya wa anya buso eni ni bia na so say jaba yi bunu fa na to jama no ho oni ye no da ho no so ho ya kire say kwaku Clement wakoso ja waba she waba bene charity waba bene na life so ahụ ne tuntum so ne ene asachiwa asese wow asemo ya busuafo so ahụ and say wa ayi yase be ma no kwaku Clement no wo she de mpran ene ne ba make sense girl so wo ba be mo a ya ye frɛ no abeku ai enti wo twa datum na wa hye wo so wie kura wo so wie kura ya se say nyame anya fa saka se a lady ya wo gino kama tuntum fefe ya wo gina ho no yi anko ahya da no nso no wa bene na life na nigo so sa ya no sa America fo na Facebook fo nka mo ba be sun na asemi esi ewo subin so ya ewo Doma East District ewo Bono region da so Doma prosifo wo mo ho ha papa wo mo ti asemo ma na so kra ena kikikiki na nampa ben kyereme ya mokra moka se na report ye mudei wono ena wa homa no so nana ma hai enti ye de wa bobo anu a sa so mayen na jam manu nkomayen na ba bia kwakoduro
iwo fa me da so bebre na me ma ahefo na tifo aha e de abadoma Kwaku Clement ya branchi bia ofi na brabo so na se o sha brabo ya se no. Nsamone de we di bi pa eji on presidency akọ ya yonko. O hwe na brabo a o de ti do mapu ye manti no su bi nkruma. One de so hia wa nopa awie nyimre. Iso pewa o ya baba wa. Utimiro no wa afomo na o kan so wan ti ase a obebo. One amanfo eye ma edanan de akiri de tin kwotete ho a wunni ne abranti oto wi ase. Wetima to mona akoto eye su bi nkrumhuni na nampa de nkyereme ne wo fase nim pono pa mona. Na baba wa sabri Kwaku Clement on ne be chimpran ba chimpran be tinfinfie minu ene ne fo kakra. Na osan abrabobone oni subambone a Kwaku Clement onane ma ababa wei na busuafo be ka se dadi krachi ukezi na woje ewo kuromu a one ne patemu a be mpene so kina mmane enkoso nchempna ne kina bi ba ko wo adebonyefo de de gudo mamani ni sa asunti onansoma ababa wei na busuafo be yire ne yire keke ma mpume ma one abaya na be kotna ye no ba na sesa ne ne ma san be tena ewo subun kurum no ne na ababa wei eba de duru onu ankasa na papa one ne ma me kurum no krachi fe ko tikwane ebe kruiso eye botumi ba ko twa mu da na to so abu nu so bronya brenu mu na oba se oba be fa ba na de na ko ba na ka se won tiate na krachi ko ye no wan kokora otete mantia onene ma oba ya obefa patru etutugu ababa wei dana bidonfo e de amane se ontinem na ja ompraprem onene ba abeku beti dani ma krachi betutu patru edigu mpumani one kwane nano no
chamba onu da she jeans ya ase wo on she shirt bia no mukutekuta o she ase blue jeans
ono do no a on she fie no na weye mekase mpra oto so be se mochia back in kuru so nti obedi se dwumadie no polisi fo bo model kase na akwa wie bi su moto wo Gambia ma polisi fo no be de kraka ba beto do ma ha se be penalty nti wo be nyana kini bia no fanabra ampa be kene de koye nitia be kino ka fo kura oye nano ya woda otwa mi ye ni polisi wo be kino be de kokko duru ye no so no abuso fo ko na mra no ne o kan se okuni pa kura mra ma ho kan se be man bill ampa be man bill nura nyamade atie no san ba be pim sa krachi wotete nti na no pe ye be se no 9 pa mu na minya akọ se krachi na ba ne do ba ye no wa ba be gura baba wa no fi a woti mu mantwe ba bi a ni o kan se obeku aba ye no sa ba ye ni jana o san se ne boni bebiri ba wadie no ababa wa no efu enim nti se be de ko gina ko to ababa wa no be ba be ye dansi ni a wan ri abede krachi ne be ko a o ma biem no ba sa na ba wa no obo modene efa tete fufure no wo fa ba ko be fre ne Bengazi no no so fre me a Mr. Commander a o hwe do ma division ha owura antunapia a o ma ne mrantie be ko na sana prince ko be ko duru ho no na mpotemu ho ba di kana yire no ba kitre ne kura na to be se anopa no munsiampa emu ko be ye no nso a prince ko be ko fa na sabri be de na akọ o twima ni mpanifo be kan se nyankopọ ya adom akena be de ne be ko akopie bu e wo do ma circuit court ne be di na sem na wo hwe boni a wadi ona ne wonsem a owo politifo ba ka kidada na ye be kan se wo wadan si dia efa Kwaku Clement nsem na ho do wadi ni nyina chi a na no ya wo be ya be chi na nka ne be kunu be chi no no a politifo ntente be kopie wa banti manse no wo wadan si dia wi a fabra na fe ben fan konko dina mra no na mra no oni ni esan se kraki otipo wono nsem ne ho do wadi no wo wirem nti se be tanase ni be hwe ne han a wan hwe aso lotika se obeku ababa wa no obeku ni sanse anopai danye chene be chi na one de na wa ase ne tekane bo ha na nka odo Kwaku ababa we asabe wa ko di nsensemme owo polisi fo be nsabi
ene chema wo hwa em se wo hye nkwadabone ase tafu se wo hwa ase onyini pi
krachi ya fene wenya mfinhia adunu nwotwe na wo fa me kasa me ka ne nsema mi ankasa krachi yetuma kwa kwato mona ama ma die tire ene na ba fidikesi yeso ne na bedi nkomo bosom de a wo Ghana ha de eni nsu ahoda ba wo Ghana ha de wa fribia de aburu mu yesa na ne ho apempin ne na duonu no bo so me ngwati no baadi ono ati ofana ko yira baba wa bi onso no ko nfuom nsem ko piem wa hemfie enso ni nyina mu no ke akrati aduro bi no yusu o di bone no be kin pe nso de ne be ko oni nansa ake ne be sana ba nti sa ne ma we ye ne ma bi akrati no wa ya ko ma kire ama na bufiafo ka be bode nye kaketwa sanse be ne ko bia na ne ba ko tu esika be ne ko bia ne wanya be ne ko bia na krati ya sana ba nso ne de ni akwa ko ye dia ko be nya bre sanse o jidimbo ne de ma polisi fa ba odo mama ni nti se bre ha bishina ko funda nto na pia ona na pamfo ba ye se ningu nsema akopi nu wa masu ningu nsema akopi mu o kire basu wanfie ene police station akoro wodo ma ha ne de ta be nya de se be de na kwa me ka se mpo no oda wanted list so a Gambia police fo be hia na den e san se okowie bi moto ma be de ne koye ba de ne koye a oda force no bi ni so wa yire buro so ba ni se ni o crack no timi gane ya ta bre oda wanted list so a be hwehwe no na no pay ya sana akwache no e de na ba police fo
yo ya dase ene so nya kwa dwane a IGP ene wane doma police fo de pa
nya so nketwa wo fa
ya dase pi yenua kireme na yatene nka no abemma no na wada so no enti amanfo bekeke bia fine Doris Do was watwere twi was ye nkwase asem sa udi kapa asenyo kwabena was look at his face Hega Ado edit from Italy Hega what say wicked boy he's insane about dam or more dam go bewe afi Nana Brookman was a foolish boy Richard Men was a bad David Tano omanfo keke bi kire de pa na yanko sachua
ayo yanko na ensam ni bu onu ma wuti ni say ya onwan sa wontena akurase da akurase bia ogangari a ho onze kro bia wo mensa wo eye mensam obi odi mensam ni atitrasam ni atinsam wo etwe no ya atena akurase no nye nwanwa
wo yankofo enkofo dwe ya yesu wa na ma wodwira nim sa so wa to aprosifo wo ya wa na ma we ni sika esen a wo no wa to do ma aprosifo ya pa so betu amwa no
ebi wo hokra na ye de ni tumu a ye nya nipa kro beto aduana ba menadi ni ade no wa be ya ade so ani ade kro bia bi wo so ne kru wa ye ma wo fa na se yanko yanim nti ye kwa yanim no na papa bia wadi mfinhia aduana ba ko sade krachi ya ono wodoma yi ono de Nyankopon ye fast we de ne ba abamu aya wadi mfinhia nkron Nyankopon anya fast we na brabom te sanso ne nyame frɛ ne se won meka abofo ya wone omo ye adwuma ewo wiem ane asase so no ho enti na o ma kwan ma akwada no ko ntem no ne ba abamu aya wadi mfie nkron wo no beko ye ben kukuo mu asunafo south mansini mu ewo bono we ya hafo mantan no mu chesa papa na kuma kwada ne ya Antonio akire adan ede ben ko a wo asabisabi ohua mu ba ya wakunu ya sa na ya mani boni na naboaje da Costa asemi ba ya ne ese da bi entimi na so sa enti kwa posifo kokko bi so omo se wo mate no mote ya wo mote ne sai enne ne wodi mrika ko Yera Lawrence Adimbire ya wo ye ASP na wono ani kukuom police commander okọ ne na so enne wo se jae boyemu aposifo mrem munsusu mote ne sai enne ne de ohwiegu ho e ma anuni
of 9 years. Yeah, information say one could deny in the face of it now. He denies no number 5. But then I could ask you to say one different idea grow and make a fund of Africa. So we don't know. We are insistent if he knows anything about the bear on fund or money, who are in him before the court. And the fire and a dead body or tunnel river, a boy. But we have not been able to identify the boy yet as that boy. So I can't tell stories. You are denying a young guy of that boy's age said, one idea grown up or on a papa never found on the bicycle. So based on that now, you continue detaining himself. Fine. If that's the case, I would have found that. I review before court. So until they come back and say, but now you know, but now Emma, it's identified there. You go now, but now the boy who went me. I mean, now we know and say, social welfare, now social welfare for me.
I can't say every week be 1 year 5 6, but that one yeah to me confirmed because young social welfare now. So it's still this is early for us to confirm that. But your information say the field she didn't call social welfare near court.
See, we any amania ya if you are ba we ye de kan kra it say ya ma ne boni edi a kire den nana abwaje da costa wo di asam na chi enti afane nyina wo beje na odi abre no ma samanfo obisa enne court asam no ama bra kwampofo wo boaboa ne points ano eye interviews wonim se bra kwampofo de ye ba no journalism mu a wono judge or ye magistrate court judge just wo ye bibia enti wo boaboa no tamuchuku ama besia bam the ntie ya niki yan friend no amanfo opere wo mo ho de ama eba besi ni people enchekura ama besia bama mo wate de course no nyina ne tofabo ama bam kura na actually ama ma hai ayi ABN Christian Amampo ama so mu ese se maduro hene. Hello, I'm out of Benka. Chere baby amadru sesi a yenim se o ma soro so nemum baby na person baby amaba bedru na de lawyer for no kan no so de wo de amaye no ye no so ye bema ye tiefo no mo hwe no bi anye bi
yo matime dase mami fi asese ene na anka ni da kwan se ye be ye pretra ankasa pretra no ye se na ye de be ye adwuma semie ni mo ankasa mere dodo ahe na ye de be ye adwuma asemie ni na watwe kra se ye betena se sen issues there and as ensem be ankasa na temo afon so mo kwa kotena se omo nkwada na omo ndwendwen ho ene enu entimi amaso na mo meba ye bedu court na no pape na lawyer chachuchi kasa wono ejina ediama enkane mampeni John Dramani Mahama eche mu se all the application diaba na application mi nyina ene se was our questions mako edumi ensa o pese obisa electoral commission your man kwa ma obo questions ni bi so questions ni bi ene se na o pese obisa electoral commission se e kwan ben so no transfer ye kankan abato ni wie ye ne ebobo so no e kwan ben no transfer eti district eba regional eba national sana no so ensa kan obi se ebio se NCA Jumako National Communication Authority Jumako Jumedie potin ben and omu die abato aye so asie etwemu no and what he was saying a deal said electoral commission declare results ni wie ye bo o ma beni nana de danko fukwa de team oba e be kan say mistake and say error bi abam na ebere ben potin e na wo hu ye ese sa error na say mistake na ba e dio o say bi say ebere o hu sa error so no anamom ben e no tufa ona so tu anamom a ogidi pa say amfa o how bi ama MPP aba onya ye ana say NDC aba onya o de when mfo bi a obobo so ye mako edumi ensa ope question ope answer edi efi eye nana adodan kwakufu adon nche ohese ne lawyer ana say eye is lawyer ene be ya no nano na is lawyer Justin Amanuvo enso sorry ene o cheche mu fe debi that questions are lawyer tatuju kase bi tani nyina ono awa ma ne ho answer beda who name for so class will be that questions. The essence, Nina, and one step any year. What change the public elections regulations. Nina, a woman editor, and it's a who name for so class will be that questions. And what she was saying, she should be actually said, or not to jump on the way during any one part, but as you kata, any kind of mountain, John Dramani Mahama, a disaster question. Essence, petition on one a church or editor to Supreme Court, Nina Samamanaka, or the questions no be an on one atama who answer a woman. Into in question and quadam questions there and no be some. Then no question was so just two more classes are questions now will be relevant and irrelevant this year. And then among chain, me also is your about 10 mensa and snadakum. Yeah, the next snadakum is here. Cross examination, and you because you put it to Nima, you put it to her, no one more answer, and come to send me irrelevant. So, and Okasa and I see yes, and a lawyer I could to ampower, lawyer and sorry, General, near some more canina, a woman say, or no, on count question, and you know, you be name of the points of law, again. Or that necessary to say court no ase we the lawyer that you kata ne nsema obi san e we kata premature ni ya dodo onka onya abote na so court ne kata say e san say won no de enyo no ne ebisa ne question de omo record no kre omo record ye wie na court sorry let me kase court sorry best na aduata e na ko share dem e na kukuru keka mutibo ma e ne say omo pie ba ye no e na chief justice kwesi ani yeboa e di tuja akire say and some ye kan want to make interlocutory and I said discoveries waboni nyina tu agwa na so we dismiss on granting on the grounds say the kind was say 1992 constitution any public election regulations no ya amendment into say bebre abem ye hwe NCI 127 na ye di adwuma en kan na nye CI 127 ye di adwuma en say bebre abem eni ti sense say ba na e say ye fa sense say di adwuma eni ti wo chemu say en kan ye make us a precedent ayewo 2012-2013 election petition no your president now that president na ye de adwuma enye electoral commission ayense say bebre and so na na wa bota nsemi na atogu ye tie ba abontin NPP fem okatama for the master committee ayate eso mo na nkasa for election nko a lawyer Frank Davis echemu say me no mo hwehwa no mo nsaka esanse ogun ni say ensem bia NDC amanyoko ne nka ne mampani John Dramani Mahama epese wo de fa bag edi bedroom omu refi nsem bi afi no makoye nhwehwemu hu eneme bi on pese mo de beka ho nti that door na mpese ye mie kwa ma ona nka omu fence mi de memory nti odi say twuma ko champa o ye sene fatapa esanse ya boss ansem ni nyina atoagu na NDC from na lawyer Dominic Ayeni ono mrashe bedwani osan ye lawyer osan ye customer for ema committee aya pause omun ka say election petition NDC from ono so che mu say ne hu adwiri ni papa esanse ene e kana e Supreme Court atinte so egu from asan aba mochi edo mo sekre mababefa din ti na wakata wo che mu say eye ba krom de ko ye 9-member panel and it's not so Supreme Court ha e che chere mra edema electoral commission say ebi o wa woni so mfanya adwuma ene samra ko na ba krom be ko betina say 9 panel member betina say ebi tum say mfanya adwuma wo chem say ene de enipa nson aba betina say asa so samra ko na oma etima say efficient o si ne ho adwure nipa na omo de say de omo di kan aka say omo twen rule no omo nya rule ni copy no mo tina say no mo kenkan mu no mo nyina sa adwene a afi omo beba ni nyina mu court na say wo chine nyame ya doma no nkono pepepe afani afa eye electoral commissioner lawyer for amampani nanado danko akufu ado lawyer for sanso na NDC lawyer for nyina obian krata ese na fata eye issues ni issues a eno na se mafo ni begina so ebu asem no issues ben say ebi aye the kata you signature amaso ene ye polling center ha ye bowenti ye pamo ye nko ofofo sa issues ni nyina omo nyina adwen ko bem ko no obian fa ne de emeto eno ne ye de ba be ye adwuma nti fra ne de emekata efiate nti otenya me adma no nkono omo de sankata ni nyina ba no be file a no nkono ne pepe Supreme Court ebetinasi na ene trial na yentimi anyen wochina ye dia nti ene mekase me bone topa yesi ye e wo Supreme Court ene no
na ama time no sa brem se unsa time wa Land Cruiser se mienu asemensa bi as a big man bi pa de from sisi asojafo no etiti free wo mo car no mu esi baby asojafo ebie ne door no eye JDM na oshemu ana
me pacho enye JDM ne eshum me mo electoral commission chairperson Jane Mensa ena na eshum ena second one awu Land Cruiser Mensa na talking na commissioners no the kai apake o Supreme Court dan no tuntum no eno ya I think 8 no 20 car number na 2020 car number no eno Jane Mensa na team oba ene sanse no onya accreditation team ena hu se omugina wa akosi sa asoja for gina wa akosi se omo lawyer ura inside ko accreditation de brown ne na to so mi enu no Dr. Bosman Asari ono so commissioner wo EC wo ono so kana na to so mi ensa no Samuel Tesa or no so your commissioner or electoral commission. You are soldier for a car on by an idea. And then may have many can bear a dunum, echo a drum, almost by a son, a commissioner, and as a commissioner, and on Grumba, JBN, the Oba, now for any on one personal bodyguard and a canon. No, my soldier for you who are more hanging. Me, Deputy Attorney General, what for your board, I mean, on the Debbie or Bakota, or surgeon and a bonnet hobana. Oh, my name, who are me a soldier for me, a commissioner to me and son of Bayan, or one soldier for Unqua and no.
Now, what do you by now? Also said by Amas, what Mensa, one JM, Jane, J, and a Mensa, M. And then the no 2 months on so John and a Mahama, and JM, and one JM, 2 months so the dendre.
JJ, and an uncle, Nana for now, what to me and said that you be as a answer no Friday or a second respondent. It's a J+J+J and a consequence. My main point soon count and then Mammy Donko. The PMO Supreme Court. And then to drink of more and say, my damn potting the Piadon Cobayawa. Means some are walking in and say, or no, or the petition about the petition of the buying in answer, they radio worry on you too. And into another the petition about the Supreme Court to say, they are really now worrying or so on you to know what I'm there about court and won't to. He decided to say, and about court to them are dead potting now 3 years to do and another man. Every time it's a man, I don't say, who came over Supreme Court. Again, I would say, I thought they say, hey, a body man said, a body man said, a body man said, and it's enough about and say, a body man said, into that. I don't dare, you're 2 years, you want to not to make a petition not the buyer. And the woman say, you're more than Mahama sending to you. Into when you say, damn, why we are wanting to. Yes, I dare, Supreme Court, someone petition and to me.
Men na was a Sanka which me was a the crackler horn the deep front of one the deep him honda no pepanti wo hwe na be a asem no kan ye no wo mse ye ni asem no nwie e ma enkosi se JDM and the be from ampanya konwa na nas na ntra na ade so but wo hwe be a court no fa ye no a odi ma hwan ne nko ade ama
the make us a dear movie and I and dear movie and no ya some go for. It's an application and a down make us and this application and I said, and can a man John Zamani Mahama application or the back a young man a fine. No one Mr. questions or Gina Mrasso and the data in some by. Now for argument, electoral commission lawyer Jackson Amanuvo and to make and the OSHA amendments are who are to Supreme Court in say, oh my God. See a move for you. And the see my name, and see a jail society too. Near the society, a Juma, not yet Juma, not so able to go here. And make us and can then quadia, make us NPP, and now say, easy and home leading to me, and young people, electoral commission leading to me, it's an electoral commission, James said, the young such a baby. Now, no more muta. And you know the can't come out.
Meditation. Man. No, it's a man, sorry.
chance na time ma kwere will be an room to the courtroom. Yeah, court outside. Nothing because radio life man accredited na abom
Brennan we na ma ba for pa the more than a man for he will be ma can you media or yet buadi oye no baka because when our sister anka for na Ghana for Ghana from so come up na sɛ wɔkyerɛ sɛ
yes, was Kasana enya enya so
you cried she somehow it's right. Some can
Kwame so say ni onu de kwa na obe wa say no move and kre num pressure yang na when it say I say on anu odi ko bia bobo
so ya si
we have and tables, different tables and chairs, sets, desks, tables, tissues,
as well.
Call us at 0246 7666 36 0541 957528 0548 262013 or 0540 491968.